Good day, everyone. It's Myrdith Leon-McCormack from World Bride Magazine. And I am so excited. I know I say this all the time, but I'm always excited. But this time I'm super, super excited. I am with one of my favorite people in the world, a woman that has come from Brooklyn to create a globally recognized brand, the owner and founder of Carol's Daughter, Lisa Price.
Hi, hi.
Hi, how are you, Lisa?
I'm well, thank you. I'm really good.
You look fantastic. Your hair, your skin is glowing. Just everything is happening.
Thank you, thank you. There is a new product in my hair that we probably won't launch until the end of this year, early next year. But
Ooh.
I was just talking to somebody about it because my hair was styled with it last week, Monday. So this is
Mm.
like, what is that, 10 days
And it
later?
still looks this good? It works. Then it works. So that says that not only are you the promoter of your product, but you are a user of the product
Oh,
and you
absolutely.
verify everything.
I do. I do. And I always have. Um, even if it's something that might not be something that I'm going to use a lot, I make sure that if I were to use it, that I like it. Like I did a smoothing range once for people who blow out their hair.
Mm.
There's probably a handful of people that have ever seen my hair blown out. It's just not something that I do, but it was blown out to make sure that that stuff worked
Wow,
for
I love
sure.
that. I love
Yeah.
that. So I want to give my readers and viewers from all over the world the backdrop to who you are. Um, my story with Lisa, everyone, and I'm excited and honored to say it. Lisa and I live in Brooklyn. Lisa and I started our businesses in Brooklyn. I used to be in my past life a celebrity manicurist. And when she had her beautiful products and oils and things, I used them on my clients when I was doing manicures and pedicures. And we used to go to the African street festivals, promote our products at the African street festivals. We used to do home beauty services at, I remember, I think it was Melanie's house in Queens,
Mm,
Laurelton or Long Island or somewhere that border. And I was just so excited to be in the space of beautiful, black, successful women launching businesses, doing their things. So
mm.
when you evolved and you got the store and you were in Brooklyn again and you just kept growing and then you just what I think you were in Sephora too.
Yes, yes.
Sephora, and then you got bought out by, it was like, oh my God, oh my God. So to give other people you from your mouth,
Uh-huh.
what inspired you to create this product? Why did you feel you had to in a sea field of products already?
Well, when I first started, there wasn't that. And when I first started, I started with body care. I have been a lover of fragrance. And if I moved the camera around and you saw my fragrance collection, you would be like, oh my God, this woman's crazy. Because I'm still a lover of fragrance. But
Mhm.
I've loved perfume since I was about 4 or 5 years old. It's just something that I immediately gravitated to. And when I was old enough to start to purchase my own, I did. And for me, fragrance was a part of my wardrobe. It was, it's another accessory. Like these are my shoes, these are my earrings, this is my purse. What scent? Um, it factors
Mm.
into like it helps build confidence. It helps calm me down. If I'm feeling anxious, there's things that I'll put on to calm down. If I'm feeling insecure, I'll build myself up with something. It's just, and I often tell people it's my art. And so like the fragrance is like my paint. And that's where I began with that. And I've always had really dry skin, and
Mm,
I started to make moisturizers to take care of my own skin,
mhm,
and then gave to family and friends. And I
mhm,
started out with body care. A lot of people don't know that I didn't start with hair care.
mhm,
And when I was selling my body care products, people would ask me, well, do you have anything for hair? I really need something for my hair.
mhm,
And I realized, okay, I need to learn how to make some hair care products, because when I was out at these festivals in Brooklyn, there were a lot of people who didn't even look at the body care products, because when I said I didn't have hair, they just walked away.
mm,
So I thought, if I have some hair care stuff along with the body, at least it'll bring more customers and more eyeballs to what I'm doing.
mhm.
And when I began to create hair care products, because I always had to make things for me first,
Right.
I couldn't just make something and sell it to somebody. So I realized that I had been settling for what my hair could look like, what it would feel like,
Mm,
how I could style it. I didn't recognize that it could be different. I didn't even know how to wear it curly like this. Like there were days where it would come out nice, and then there were days it didn't come out so nice, and I
yep.
didn't know how to fix it.
Yep.
And so creating hair care products taught me that I didn't have to settle with my own hair. And then I watched people change the way that they looked at their own hair. And so I began to sell both. And then at some point, hair just took over. But now I'm in another year and a half, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get back into body again,
But
because
I feel like,
that's my first love.
but I think it's going to be, there's going to be a balance for it. And, you just triggered the reason why I did fall in love with your product, because at that time, I didn't tell too many people I had children, and my daughter had eczema. And
Mm,
so it was hard trying to put, everything had too much fragrance, everything had too much something. It wasn't natural. And then I started using your product because she will tell me, I remember going to her store in Brooklyn, and I think it was when you took over where Spike Lee's store used to be. She
yeah,
remembered
yeah.
that. She literally remembered that. I was like,
Wow.
wow. She was a child. She was had to be between 6 and 10, 13 years old, that age, where,
Hmm.
things, and we couldn't figure it out. But that was the only thing that seemed to have worked. So I'm glad you said why you started it, and now it makes sense, literally sense. So the and I think the timing of when you started your product, there was nobody. You're absolutely right. There wasn't that much for Black women and curly hair for that. And then
Yeah.
even the few Caucasian or Jewish women or Spanish women that had curly hair and wanted to wear their curly hair, they didn't have
Hmm.
much options. So I
They didn't, and there were a number of them who bought my products back
absolutely.
then, which I always found like fascinating. Now I understand it better, because
Mhm,
I understand the hair textures and the needs and things like that. That was
mhm,
another thing. When I started this, I had come from a television and film production background. I
mhm,
was not a beauty person background.
mhm.
I never worked in a beauty company. I liked beauty products as a consumer, but
Right.
I didn't work in the business. And I learned it as I went along. I knew nothing about marketing, absolutely nothing about marketing. Um, so it's been an interesting journey for nearly 33 years now.
Happy anniversary. Happy
Thank you.
anniversary. And
Thank
that's
you.
a lifetime when you say that, considering where we started, because whether we come from good families that had means and a home, because you grew up in a brownstone in Brooklyn, I grew up in Brooklyn, home and everything else, doesn't mean we had the level of money pouring
Yeah.
in to start a
And
business to do
I
everything.
actually didn't grow up in a brownstone in Brooklyn. My mother didn't own a home until I was 18. But there was home ownership within the family.
Hmm.
But my immediate family didn't own a home until I was 18. So before that, we lived in apartments.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And you see how wealth is built, through you taking the chance, doing what you're doing, and expanding and growing it and serving a need while serving the needs of the public that needed it. Because
Right,
there wasn't that many products, beauty products for women with curly hair, natural hair. So a lot of relaxers, and a lot of things were out there for everything else to blow out and to do everything, but not to help me maintain or manage my hair. Not to consider the fact that it was before the Crown Act and all of this other stuff.
right. And I also would argue there were products that existed for people who wanted to relax their hair, but not relax it safely, not really take care of it. A,
Nope.
a lot of what people knew how to do, they knew how to do because somebody in their family had a recipe. They mixed mayonnaise, they mixed eggs, they used olive oil, they cooked
Hmm.
something on the stove, or there was a beautician in the neighborhood that everyone went to, and she had her own concoctions in the
Yep.
salon. But you didn't walk into a store and just pick up a deep conditioner that was doing all the things you needed it to do. No, that didn't exist. It was always something that somebody tried that, oh, I'm going to try that and see if
Right.
it works.
The hot
Yeah.
oil treatment that we did with the
Yep.
plastic bag.
Yes, yes. All of those things.
We try the avocado, mix it, keep it for 20 minutes, and then it'll just be like butter. So I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from the age where we sat in the stoop and your cousin or your auntie braided your hair.
Yes,
I'm from the age where Spike Lee's movies, Doing the Right Thing, was just coming out, and we were just still trying to figure out how to still look fly, be cool,
yes,
and keep the hair on our head.
exactly, exactly.
So now take us through the process of you doing it from your home, doing it to um owning the store, feeling that now I need to have a store, to then the spa in Harlem.
So I operated out of an apartment initially because when I started, I didn't live in this house. I lived in an apartment. And then my husband and I moved into a larger apartment, and I could have a room that could be a store, and a workshop and an office. It was all of those things. It was actually, so it was a two-bedroom apartment, and
Mm.
it technically should have been one of the bedrooms. And I remember when we moved in, there was this hallway room. You know how brownstones have those hall
Hmm.
rooms? And I said, that should be where I have the workshop, because I can actually let people in right there and they don't have to come into the rest of our living space. And Gordon looked at the space and he said, it's not going to be big enough. And you should be right off of the kitchen because that's where you're going to make everything. Just take the bigger room and we'll have the smaller room for our bedroom. And he was so right because things grew while we were in that apartment. And I would not have lasted in that small room long. Um,
What a
and
good
so
problem to have.
yes, absolutely. So that was like the first like little bit of growth there. And then when we decided to purchase this house, I felt like I had all the space in the world. We rented out the top floor. We, had our bedroom on the second floor. We had production downstairs in the kitchen, but it was also our kitchen. And again, a good problem to have. We began to outgrow here. It was too hard to produce, to have a store, to ship, and it was getting to the point where there were certain days that you couldn't do certain things because there just wasn't enough space. So, like today, we can't make product because we have to make this gift baskets, and we can't make gift baskets tomorrow because we're going to have to ship. And that's not conducive to growth if you're shipping 2 days a week, if you're making baskets one day a week. you got to make product every day. You got to make baskets every day. You got to ship every day. So I knew I needed more room
Wow.
and had to get a store.
And everything came, as a blessing. And I remember the pride of Brooklynites when you kept growing and growing, and people and more people started to use your product, from regular everyday people to major celebrities using the
Mm-hmm.
product. And you had proven your point that there is a need, there is a market for it. And then, into my understanding, to my recollection, that's when all the others started to come. From my perspective, there were others. I'm not saying there wasn't,
Yeah, yeah. No,
but
there were
mainstream was you.
like there were brands like Jane Carter. I
Hmm.
don't know exactly when Jane Carter started, but I feel
Hmm.
like we started pretty close together.
Hmm.
Um, Shea Moisture was I think a couple of years after me,
Hmm.
but before Shea Moisture was Shea Moisture, there was Nubian Heritage. So
Hmm.
Nubian Heritage and I were kind of around the same
Hmm.
time. So there were other brands. What I guess take credit for, but sometimes it's hard for me to say that because I know I didn't do it by myself, and it's not the reason why I did it. But there was a factor of Carol's daughter putting the that particular market and consumer on the map. Um, Being in magazines like Vogue, Vogue had not, it was an honor and a privilege and a blessing and all the things to be in Essence, to be in Ebony. But in some ways that was expected because those magazines catered to the core consumer of the brand.
Hmm.
It was a bit unheard of for Vogue at that time
Hmm.
to feature a Black owned brand. Um, that's just not what they did. Not intentionally, but it's just the way that it was. There were certain brands that were in Vogue, there were certain brands that were in Allure. And because of us having celebrity investors, and Jada Pinkett Smith was one of them,
Hmm.
and being able to leverage her as a spokesbeauty and an investor, Vogue wanted Jada in their magazine, and that facilitated Carol's daughter being in the magazine. And I think that sometimes it takes the door being opened
Absolutely.
by a brand or two brands or three brands, however it works out, for people to see there's an interest, there's a market, there's a consumer, and that's what happened. And it made it possible for there to be more brands after that. Not I again, I'm not somebody that takes credit for things. It's not so much that, oh, I invented it and then everybody else copied me. You just gave awareness to
Hmm.
something, and you were a visual example of, oh, this can earn because they're making this much money. So, she's making that much money and she doesn't have that much investment. If we look at these guys over here
Hmm.
and we put this into them, maybe they
Right.
could make even more, and then it becomes proof of concept and it's not such a
Right.
foreign idea.
Absolutely.
Um, I think
Absolutely.
people thought that all we were ever going to do was relax our hair, and we
And
stopped
it
doing
wasn't.
that.
But
Yeah,
it wasn't the market. That was never all the complete truth of Black people, So
yeah,
and again, it is who was there, and Jada Pinkett, and I believe you also had Mary J. Blige. And
yes,
so you
yes,
had these other notable figures that was in another space. So once they were in the door, they came back and grabbed you, and you were able to open doors for other people because you became the proof of concept to the
yes.
general population.
And honestly, not even sure if it was the general population, but I know it was us
Oh,
because
absolutely.
we looked at Mary J. Blige in a different way than the general public did. We
Absolutely.
looked at Jada Pinkett Smith in a different way than the general public did.
Absolutely.
Um, because for us, they were more than their art. They
Mhm.
they represented our cousin, our sister. You
Hmm.
know, I remember people calling Jada Lena because they knew her as Lena from a different world, you know, or her character from Set It Off, you know,
Right,
like whoever they connected with
right.
in that role that that person played, and what she meant to them as far as them seeing someone like themselves in her.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I love it. And like this, I can go on for hours talking to you about the transition of business and the importance of it and the reason why those statements make sense for me as a bridal magazine because it says World Bride, literally World Bride, and people still ask me, who am I catering to? They want to know
Mm,
if it's black or white or what. And I'm like, anybody around the world that's getting married and calls himself a bride, that's my target. And
yeah.
that's why I'm very intentional that we go to Dubai, we go to Qatar, we go to Egypt, we go to Germany, we go to France, we go to Spain, we go everywhere that's human beings that are getting married and telling their love story to us. But I wasn't the first. There's other magazines that came and are still, they was Brides Noir that I worked for when they
Mm,
were starting out and they catered to black brides. Essence magazine literally had a wedding section that they did annually that opened the door to nurture this love and passion that I had for the wedding industry. And then now there's Monalucci, there's Black Brides, there's all of
hmm.
that. So I will never say that I'm the one and only that caters to, multicultural
Right.
brides,
Right.
but I can say that I am currently the only one that goes to all these countries and creates content and do things. And I hope there's more that come after me, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and that's the beauty of what we do. And so the reason why I like having these personal conversation with founders of products that I love, that I've
Hmm.
tried, is because I feel when people know who you are, your backstory, people buy and do business with who they like and who they know. I want people to know you and love you and not only see the product on the shelf and say, "Oh, what is that?" and say, "Oh my God, that's that lady. Oh my God, I know her story," and feel connected to your product so that now they too can actually say, "Oh my God, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to invest in it." So it is an honor to have this conversation with you and tell your backstory about the products. Can you tell us what's the latest? That'll be my last question. What's the latest? What's the newest product that you have right now that they could run into the store and buy?
Well, what's the latest is not out yet. So
Mhm.
I'll say that. So, one thing that, well, there's a couple of things that are new. As you stated, I used to be a part of L'Oreal. I'm now independent again. So I own the company independently with the business owner, and that's been the case for a little over a year now. And because of that transition,
Mhm.
we weren't able to produce new products like right at the top of the year coming in January 2026 with a new launch because
Mhm.
we had to transition ourselves into this new company.
Mhm.
So our new launch is hitting our website in July of this year. It will be in 400 Walmart doors early August, 2,000 CVS doors mid to late August. And it'll also be on Amazon, and we're talking to HSN. We'll see what happens there. But it is a range for scalp and edges, and I'm super excited about it. It's the first launch since being independent, and it is
Congrats.
lavender and violet and nettles and soursop and a beautiful fragrance of violet and iris and just gorgeous purple flowers. And it's clean,
Royalty.
it's innovative, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's called Lisa's Kitchen. Thank you, thank you.
Congratulations. That I know it's a big, scary move again, but you have your history behind you of accomplishments and, ups and downs like every business that now you can say, "Oh, I got this. I can do this without a problem." So
Yeah, yeah.
congratulations. So where
Thank
can
you.
our readers go now and shop and find products from you and the range of products that you have?
So you can shop directly with us at carolsdaughter.com.
Hmm.
You can also shop with us in our Amazon store. And then, as far as retailers who carry us, CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, Target, Sally Beauty. There's a lot of food stores throughout the country. I don't have them all memorized, but there's a number of food chains that carry the brand. So, yeah, there's about 15,000 points of distribution throughout the country. We're also in Canada, and we're in Puerto Rico, working on Europe. So we'll see how that goes.
Congratulations. I know the girls in London want it, and I know the girls in Germany want it because they have mixed textured hair and they're
Yeah.
always battling that. And I hear it from them. The French girls, they're all saying, "Oh my God, I come to America just to shop for my hair products because they don't have enough over here." So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I totally, and the Netherlands,
Yes.
my niece constantly, when I come here, I literally have to have almost an empty suitcase of beauty products for her because she's mixed and her hair texture is like yours and she doesn't know how to manage it because there's
Mm.
not enough products there. So I got you in the Netherlands and I got you in Switzerland. How can I help you get in there?
We will get there. It's part of the transition, you know.
Mhm,
I think people think, oh, she brought her company back a year ago, like day one, everything is ready to go. You gotta like unravel yourself from the other place and set
mhm,
up your whole infrastructure. So that
mhm.
transition was a good 10, 11 months, almost a year.
And you
But
probably had to finish out whatever old business with them
oh
before you
yeah,
start other
yeah,
things. So it's not buy and you're in it, and
yeah.
that's not how
I
that goes.
After I went through it, I said it would have been so great to have purchased the brand last March, but not tell anybody until this March. That would have been great, but that's not doable.
Well, it is what it is. Now I'm just excited and I can't wait. We tried it. We loved it. It does so the products are still phenomenal. I love my daughter uses it. My granddaughter uses it. I'm truly excited. So they call it the generational pass down. So that's what
Mm.
I've passed down to my daughter is your
Oh,
beautiful products.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, any last words? And do you have a website, social media that you want people to start following you on?
Well, carolsdaughter.com is our website, and Carol's Daughter is our handle on most social media platforms. My personal handle is I am Lisa Price on Instagram and TikTok, and Lisa Price on Facebook. I'm more active on Instagram, and I'm getting to be more active on TikTok. I find that on Instagram, I present myself a little bit more formally, and on TikTok, I have what I call musings, where I just come on and start talking about stuff.
Yeah, we're going to be on there just to follow you and hear what you're talking about. Thank you again. Thank you again. We wish you the best. I hope to see you all over Brooklyn and in stores everywhere.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, there you have it, my beloved. That is my Lisa Price. I wanted to share with you this phenomenal woman in business that wants to help you fortify yourself, your soul, your spirit from your head to your toes, her body products, her hair products. So please go follow her on all her social media platforms and World Bride Magazine. We'll be trying to do some giveaways for you, but I want you to go and support Lisa Price. Thank you so much and have a good one. Bye.